How's it going, guys? Higgs here and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I will be going over a few things that you should know when starting Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I've been playing for 2 days now, and that's thanks to Ubisoft for providing me with a code, and I'm having a lot of fun with the game, but there are some things that I feel would help you when starting out. So to get us started, I just want to say, if you're playing on PS5 Pro like I am, do yourself a favour and play on performance mode, because you'll get a solid 60 FPS and the graphics are not dumbed down or affected at all. Digital Foundry have said that Assassin's Creed Shadows on PS5 Pro delivers one of the most substantial upgrades we've seen on Sony's enhanced console, and that statement is 150% true. The performance is genuinely amazing, guys, so if you do have a PS5 Pro, put it on performance mode and enjoy all the goodness that comes with that. Next up is Pathfinder. Now, this is available to toggle on and off, and I'd suggest using it. If you go off track, the woods are so dense in this game, but honestly, they're the most dense I've ever experienced in a video game, and you will get lost. You literally can't see 1 foot in front of you. Some of you may like to get fully immersed and find your way around, which is absolutely fine, and I do kind of get it, but if you want that little bit more of a streamlined experience, switch it on and you'll save yourself a bit of time. Next, read the codex. This is the first time I'm ever saying this in a game, and that's because if you're interested in Japanese culture, even if you're not interested, the codex offers some detailed reads regarding some of the characters and the buildings and the ways of life in feudal Japan. Now, I did find them really interesting to read, and I actually learned a few things. I'm a bit of a history nerd anyway, I love all that stuff. And it also helps to understand the story a bit better as well, because feudal Japan was a tough place, and learning about some of the characters was quite fascinating. And to learn that some of the characters aren't fictional, they did exist in real life, just adds that little bit more weight to the story. So if it's your thing, give them a read and I'm sure you'll enjoy the experience. Now, if you ordered the digital deluxe version, don't forget to equip your rewards. You have the Eye of the Dragon Katana, the Sakuryu gear set and the Sakuryu Beast, and the Dragon Tooth trinket. Now, the katana and gear set are really handy to have early on, as they provide a much needed buff. The katana has a weapon DPS of 56, a posture DPS of 222, ability damage of 305, and a bleed build up of 17%, which is a nice touch. I do like the bleed in this game. The perk offers you a plus 35% in damage when facing a single enemy. The only issue with that is you hardly ever face a single enemy, but it's nice to have that anyway. And to top it all off, they look really smart, and it's a nice touch that there's transmog in the game, so you never have to worry about taking it off. Meditate at the Kuju-Kiris, as this will give you knowledge points, and trust me, they're quite important as they allow you to get better level upgrades. I've come across 4 of them so far. You get to play a little tune, which is kind of neat, and then you get to also go into a memory and get some more story beats off the back of that from years gone, which is another nice touch. But yeah, knowledge points, they're quite important. You're going to want to get your levels up the further you go on into the game. And this is just a neat way to gain some of them points. And like I've said, you get some extra story from past events. Now, when you're roaming around the beautiful map and you're on your journeys, do stop and speak to random NPCs, because they will give you knowledge of the area and that will update the map for you. Whether it's bandit camps or loot, it's well worth doing, because it'll all be much needed XP, and with you no doubt wanting to get stuck into your hideout, you're going to get much needed materials from them places you're going to visit. So every time you see an NPC on the side of the road, just stop off, jump off your horse, speak to them, and then you're going to get your map updated, and that's going to be somewhere else that you can go to get the XP and the materials. Next up, play on expert difficulty. Now, don't go, Higgs, don't tell me what to do, expert's going to be too difficult. Honestly, guys, it really isn't, because normal is actually really easy and the enemies are pretty dumb. On normal, enemies will not see you at all when you are sneaking around, and you'll smash them in combat way too easy. But on expert, enemies have a better vision, so you need to think about sneaking around and your positions a lot more. So when you're up on a roof in normal, I don't think that enemies can literally see you, because that's just what it's programmed to be like. But when it's on expert, the enemies have better vision. So therefore, if you're up on a pitched roof, you need to make sure that you're going on the side of the pitch that the enemies can't see you. Just little things like that just make the game a bit more immersive. And especially when you're in combat, you'll have to time your parries and attacks a lot better. And like I've just said, it adds to the immersion of it all, especially with seasons playing a pivotal role like footprints in the snow and not being able to hide in the bushes when it's winter. On expert mode, you're really going to have to think about these things like blowing out candles and shooting lights just so you can hide in the shade. Because on normal, you basically just run in front of them and they probably wouldn't see you. So yeah, that's just a little tip there, guys. If you really do want to get the experience of being a ninja, then ramp it up to expert difficulty, and I promise you it's not that much more difficult at all. Next, there's going to be buildings around the map called kakureigas, I think that's how you pronounce it. And what these do, one, they act as fast travel points, which is really handy, but most importantly, you can interact with your hideout and the scouts without having to fast travel back to your hideout. Now granted, the load times in Assassin's Creed Shadows aren't that bad, but it's still a pain having to leave an area to go back to a hideout and then go back to the area that you came from. And being able to interact with your scouts is a massive thing, because when you come to the forts or the castles, you're going to be getting stockpiles which you can mark for your scouts to get. If they're already out, you're going to need to then go back to your hideout and then travel all the way back, but you might not have that fast travel point in the castle that you're in. So the kakureigas are really handy to have. Make sure you purchase them. I think they cost like 800, so not too much at all. Now moving on to some settings quickly. Motion blur, as we all know, just switch it off, guys. With Shadows being action-packed, motion blur is honestly a killer, and the game feels way better with it switched off. Area loot. If you want to automatically pick stuff up on your travels, have this on, as this will save you a lot of time. I love this feature. I always switch it on. I switched it on in the last game that had it, which was Horizon Forbidden West. And it's just nice to know that you don't need to keep stopping, or in case you miss something when you run past it, it just automatically picks it up. Another one is brightness. Now, I found brightness needed to be turned up to 8. Now, I did have HDR off and on, but it made no difference and I still needed to ramp it up, so bear that in mind. If you don't want to see all the blood with the decapitations, then switch sensitive mode on, and that will take all of that gore away so you can play whilst not being worried about blood and everything else that's going to make you feel a bit icky. Animals, pet them, and I mean pet them a lot. When petting an animal, that animal will then be available for you to have at your hideout. So if you're a pet lover and want some furry friends back at base, pet away to your heart's content and you'll have a hideout full of animals. And speaking of hideouts, invest in your hideout as soon as you can. You'll get more buffs and bonuses the more you invest. I'm investing in my stable right now, so stockpiles can be tagged by 1 scout instead of 2. And like I said, stockpiles give you a lot of materials, so that is definitely a long-term investment. Also, a dojo allows allies to train, so that will be another you'll want to get ASAP. And the study also allows for more scouts, which is key. Now, you can do a lot more with hideouts, so as you get through the game, you're going to unlock a lot more things, which will enable you to personalize it a lot more. Honestly, I'm impressed with the hideout system. I think this is a bit of a game changer in terms of Assassin's Creed games. It's going to add that immersion, and it's going to add a lot more variety in terms of the gameplay. So a nice touch by Ubisoft there. I really like it, and I'm sure you guys will too. But that's all I've got for now, guys. I'm going to carry on playing and getting some more content out for you. So if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, because it helps the channel and the video out massively. And if Assassin's Creed is your thing, consider subscribing, because I'll be getting a lot more content out over the coming days and weeks. You've only got a couple of hours left now, guys, so fingers crossed that you like it. I'm sure you will. But as always, take care, and I'll see you on the next video.